because it doesn't just entertain. It gets under your skin, makes you think, and leaves you talking about it for days. Trust me, once you experience the tension, the brilliant acting, and the smart storytelling, you'll see why it's not just a movie. It's an experience that redefined the genre. And the best part? I'm going to share every little detail about it, from the director's vision to the tiniest production secrets, all without spoiling a single plot twist. So, grab some popcorn, dim the lights, and let's get into why The Silence of the Lambs deserves a spot on your must-watch list. First off, let's set the stage with what this film is all about, in a way that builds your excitement without giving anything away. At its core, The Silence of the Lambs is a gripping psychological horror thriller that follows Clarice Starling, a determined young FBI trainee played by the incredible Jodie Foster. She's pulled into a high-stakes investigation by her boss, Jack Crawford, the head of the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit. To crack the case involving a notorious serial killer known as Buffalo Bill, Clarice is tasked with interviewing the infamous Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant but dangerously manipulative psychiatrist who's locked away in a maximum security facility. Lecter, portrayed with chilling precision by Anthony Hopkins, becomes a key figure in her quest, offering insights in exchange for glimpses into her own psyche. Along the way, Clarice faces obstacles from the sleazy hospital director, Dr. Frederick Chilton, and navigates a world that's as much about mind games as it is about clues. The story weaves together elements of suspense, intellect, and raw human emotion, creating a narrative that's intelligent, terrifying, and profoundly engaging. Why should you watch it? Because it masterfully blends horror with deep character exploration, showing how ordinary people confront extraordinary evil. It's not about cheap jump scares. It's about the slow burn of tension that makes your heart race and your mind work over time. Now let's talk about the stars who bring this story to life, because the casting in this film is nothing short of perfect. Leading the pack is Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling. Foster was already an established actress by 1991, having won an Oscar for The Accused in 1988, but her performance here is on another level. She brings a vulnerability and strength to Clarice that's incredibly relatable. She's smart, ambitious, and a bit out of her depth in a male-dominated field, which makes her journey so compelling. You root for her every step of the way, and that's why this role earned her another Academy Award. Opposite her is Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Hannibal Lecter, and oh man, if there's one reason to watch this movie, it's Hopkins' portrayal. Even though he's on screen for only about 16 minutes total, yes, you heard that right, just 16 minutes, he dominates the film with his icy calm, piercing stare and that unforgettable voice. Hopkins based his performance on a mix of real-life figures and even reptiles for that unblinking gaze, making Lecter a character who's both sophisticated and utterly terrifying. It's a performance that's been imitated but never matched, and it won him an Oscar too. Then there's Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford, Clarice's mentor. Glenn brings a quiet authority to the role, drawing from real FBI agents he consulted with during preparation. Ted Levine plays Buffalo Bill, and his commitment to the part is astonishing. He lost weight, studied sewing, and even worked on his voice to create a character that's hauntingly real without being cartoonish. Anthony Heald is spot on as the smarmy doctor. Chilton adding layers of bureaucratic annoyance that heightens the frustration. Supporting roles shine too. Brooke Smith as Catherine Martin, a victim who's resourceful and fights back. Diane Baker as Senator Ruth Martin, bringing political weight. Casey Lemons as Ardelia Mapp, Clarice's supportive roommate at the Academy, and Frankie Faison as Barney, the orderly who's one of the few decent folks in Lecter's